Hello everyone and welcome to Judy's Creations in Crochet. Today is October the 23rd, 2025. And I'm coming to you from Chatham, Ontario, the southernmost area of Ontario and the southernmost tip of Canada. And welcome everybody if you're happening by for the first time. My channel is, as it says, all about crochet, but I also talk a fair bit about yarn, specifically hand-dyed yarn, which I have fallen in love with. And I like to talk about it more because I know a lot of the other YouTubers out there talk about the other yarns that you can purchase in the big box stores or online at places like Hirschner's and Mary Maxim and so on. But I particularly like the hand-dyed yarns with all the natural fibers in them, and I like to talk about them and the qualities of the different fibers. So that's what I'm all about. And if that sounds of interest to you, I hope you will stop by and maybe even consider subscribing and coming back. To all of my regular viewers, hello again, and thank you so much for spending some time with me each week and coming back week after week, month after month. I have some wonderful, loyal supporters out there that I really appreciate. And I think we'll start with what I am wearing. And I'm going to take that pin out and put it up so you can see it. I can't tell you a lot about it. It is in the cape shape. It's rounded, so it doesn't have the big point at the back. And I thought it was particularly suited to fall, and it has a lot of looks like granny squares and open mesh. But honestly, I can't tell you what pattern it is. I must have made this 3-4 years ago easily. And all I can tell you about the yarn is that it is acrylic and wool payette. I believe it is yarn I got from Premier. I don't know. See the sequins in it? There's some sequins. I bought several different yarns from them with sequins, so I'm thinking that that must have been the yarn that I used in this shawl. So sorry, no name. And I doubt this yarn is still available since it's quite a while ago that I made it. And before I go on, I just realized I received some happy mail and I left the happy mail upstairs. So I'm going to stop, go get it, and come back. Sorry about that interruption, but I really do like to acknowledge when I get things from people. So here is some happy mail I received. Isn't that beautiful? All the beautiful colored flowers. And it is actually, it says inside, happy birthday, but it's meant to be a happy birthday and happy potiversary. And this comes from Judy T, who is up towards the Toronto area here in Ontario. And I'm quite sure that this would have got held up in all of the mail shenanigans. We are getting mail now. They're doing rotating strikes, and I don't know if that means every day they don't work in a certain area or they're doing it by weeks or how they're working. I don't know. I haven't seen any information, but I've been getting mail in my mailbox, and I've also been getting parcel deliveries, although the parcel delivery I wanted to tell you about I got last week. I think it came UPS, and it came from Ginger Snap That. And I think I'll wait till next week. Um, Next week, I will have another one that's coming in the mail. I think tomorrow, I think it's coming UPS as well. Coming tomorrow, another Advent. So I'll just take a minute maybe next week to show you. Next week is going to be a very busy week. So first of all, I want to say thank you very much, Judy. I do appreciate your thinking of me. But while we're talking about next week on the regular Thursday, it will be a combination of slideshow for the end of the month and my regular Thursday video to finish up what we're doing throughout October. So with that in mind, you have to get your pictures to me by this Sunday, the 27th of October. So you have a few more days yet to finish up whatever it is you're making and get those to me so that I can get the slideshow ready. So that's, I remembered that announcement. Oh, and I also wanted to comment about Instagram. Maybe those that have paid any attention have seen that each month I put something up about our butterfly mal every month. I try to announce the slideshow ahead of time, and then after I've done the slideshow and shown the butterfly and shown you my colors, I try to do an announcement about the coming month for people. And I didn't do it this month. And I'll tell you what's happened. Instagram has changed things. You know, once they get a format, I wish all these different social medias would just stay. They keep changing things. And I'll tell you honestly, when I go on Instagram now, I'm not sure where to find anything. It took me a while to kind of now learn to navigate Instagram in the first place, and now they've changed it all. And I thought I saw where I could post, and when I went to post, it wouldn't allow more than, was it one picture or two pictures? It doesn't allow several pictures like I usually do. So I said, heck with that. I canceled it. And I don't know. I can't even find where to follow people that are posting in my feeds anymore. All I see are reels, which I don't want to see. So I'm at the point where I'm thinking I'm going to give up on Instagram. I'm not going to bother spending time there. I'm not going to bother posting. It's too bad, because it is another place where I can reach out to people. But I don't know. It's not worth the aggravation for me. So don't expect to see me on Instagram, and I won't be tagging you on some of the giveaways. So, I mean, if you want, you can still tag me, but there's no point in tagging me. I will not be following much on Instagram. Maybe one day if they put it back to the way it was or change it again to make it easier, but I don't find it easy to navigate at this point in time. Sorry about that. That's just the way I feel about it. Okay, I want to move on to talk about FO. I have one FO this week, and I have a whip to show you. Of course, I have a second whip, but anyway, the FO. I finished my cocoon cardigan. Here it is. You can see done in half double crochets, and I didn't put the sleeves in it like I said I was going to, because when I put this on, I happen to be wearing a shirt, the type of shirt I would normally wear in the house, and I thought, it's longer than this, a shirt that came down, and I thought, well, to put another sleeve over top of the sleeve would be kind of awkward to get your arm in it with all those layers. And I decided I don't really need the sleeve, because most of the time I have something of a sleeve. But if I take this off, I can put it on and show it to you. I didn't make it as big as the last one. And in a way, I wish I had made it a tad bit wider. But anyway, I I joined the sleeves like you're supposed to. You can see the seam here where I joined the sleeves. And then after I joined the sleeves, I go around it all the way around, which is basically doing 2 rows, one at the top, one at the bottom. And I go around it until I'm happy with the fact that it can more or less meet in the middle, because that's what I really want, is the coverage up front. And it's a good length. It's down below my butt at the back. You can't quite see the bottom, but there it is, and it even can come up around my neck. So I think I'm quite happy with it. After I wear it a bit, if I think I need a little more, it's very easy to attach the yarn and go around it a few more times. But I went around it enough that it would meet in the front, because that's the one thing about some cocoon cardigans is they don't always meet in the front. Now the yarn I used is Hobie Fluffy Day, and I use these two colors. One is color 8 and one is color 6. I don't know which is which. I just put the labels back on. And this Hobie Fluffy Day is 100% acrylic. Comes from Hobie. And I used a number, I think it's a number 7. Yes, a number 7 millimeter hook. That's my furls hook. And these are partly used, the blue more than, the dark blue more than the light. I found almost every time I did 2 balls, there was always more in this color than this color in the ball. I don't know why, but I ended up using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 full balls, 3 of each color, and a part of the 4th, more of this than this one, which means I still have another ball of each color plus this. So if I put them together, I have enough to make something substantial, because there are, if I can find it, they never put things where it's easy to find what you're looking for. I'm looking for the number of yards in one of these. Oh, there it is. 311 yards. So this is almost full. I didn't use very much of this. You can see that the band is loose on this one. I used a fair bit of it. But I would say there's probably at least 200 yards of this one. So I have 500 yards. Definitely could make a scarf, a hat and scarf set if I wanted it as thick as this. And a scarf, maybe, even a hat. We'll see. Anyhow, that is my finished object for this past week. And what am I working on? I showed you this 2 weeks ago. I didn't do anything for 1 week, but now I am working on the Keone shawl. I didn't quite finish the section I was on. This has a couple more rows and then this section will be done. But here it is, the Keone shawl. It's an Expression Fiber Arts pattern. And I picked it up to do because I happen to have the same yarn set that Kathy received, and it's called Sacred Journey Hues, and it is Moon Gleam fingering yarn, which is 50% cotton and 50% mulberry silk. So for those of you that can't use wools, this is a perfect yarn for you. So that came as a set of 3. I only have the 1 ball down here with me today. Maybe next week I'll have all of it down here. But you can see that here's the green and there's the pink, and then here is a variegated, sort of close to the green, but not exactly. It is different, and you'll see it more as I get farther along in the shawl, that it's a different color. So that's what I have been working on. I had to tear a bunch out because I didn't have the right stitch count, and I couldn't figure out why. I mean, I follow the instructions every time. I did miss a stitch, I think, on one side, but I left out a whole row. I didn't even realize it. And I had just started the first fan row here, and I had to tear it all the way back to here. I think it was maybe 5 rows, might have even been 6, but 5 rows for sure. And I had to spend some time, and I ended up having to do it twice, getting the row between, these are called cones. It's a different stitch. I had to do it twice to get my count correct, but I finally got the right stitch count by the end of this section when I started the fans. It was very important to have the right stitch count to get the fans to work into the edge and have the right number and everything. And I'm on track now, thank goodness. So this is the only thing I'm really going to be concentrating on in the next week. So maybe if I'm lucky, I'll have it done by the time I tape next week. If not, be awful close to being finished. So that's what I have been working on. And while I'm talking about EFA yarn, I have a request of you. I would really like to know, for future purposes, maybe when I'm giving away yarn, I would really like to know if you have purchased any EFA, and that means Expression Fiber Arts for those of you that are new. If you have ever purchased any of their yarn, could you tell me what your favorite base is? I'd really like to know what bases people like. And if you've never used their yarn, or even if you have, I would like to know, from what you've read there and what you've heard me saying and everything, what yarn would you most likely like to get? What is your dream yarn to get from EFA? What yarn would you really like to be able to get to give a try from what you know about them? All of the yarns are really, really high quality, good yarns. I like some better than others because I like certain qualities better than others. There's one or two of them I don't like really at all. I don't use their heavier weights. I don't use sport very much, although I have two different sport weights in my collection. I don't use their DKs much either, although I love their sparkle DK, but I really don't use the worsted. I have a little bit of worsted, the pearlescent worsted, and I have used it, but generally I don't purchase it. I like fingering weights and so on. So if you would, in the comments below, if you've used any of their yarn, please tell me the one you've used that you really, really like the most. And for everybody, what yarn of theirs would you like to get if you had the opportunity? I'd be very, very curious to know. So that is what I am working on. That's my whip for the next week. No blankets happening here. I'm just going to leave this on. It's easier. And we do have another whip in progress, but this is a whip we are all working on, and only a little bit at a time. So I'm going to be working on it for a while. And that is our game Roll the Dice. We are working on a pattern called Achilles. And right away after I roll it, that very night, I go and do the next section. So here's how it's looking so far. I really would have liked if this had been one of the brighter colors, or if maybe it had only been like maybe 3 rows just for a little accent and then changed over. But when you're rolling the die, it's luck of the draw, right? So here's how it looks so far. In the description box, I have everything there written up to date from the very first one right down. Now we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. And I will link the pattern down below as I do each week. And now it's time for us to do the next roll. And there are 2 more colors. I really hope we hit one of those, depending on how big of a section we get. And I am using a 3.5 millimeter hook here. And I'll just put that up there and put this over there, and we'll get out our dice. And here we have our 2 dice, one for the color number and one for the number of rolls. The color number is 3, and 3 is the very first color we did. So that means we're going back to this color. I would have liked to have gotten 2 or 6. And oh, the number of rows is 2. You know what? I'm going to roll 2 today. So color 3, 2 rows. Let me write that down. Color 3, 2 rows. So that isn't a whole lot to keep us busy. So 2 rows. We need a little bit more. Now, I do know, and I'll mention this now, that a couple people have decided to use a different pattern, and that is okay. One person said she wanted to use worsted weight yarn. That's what she had. So she picked another pattern, and that's fine. I think they're still using my rolls. Somebody else told me they had difficulty with the pattern. They just couldn't seem to get it to work out. If you are a chart reader, I think you would find it easier because it has a chart, which is very easy to follow. But she picked another pattern as well. I think she told me she picked a pattern that was similar style, and otherwise following along with what we're doing. So that's perfectly okay if that's what you want to do. And then we have color 2. Oh, goody. We got a color we haven't had yet. Color 2 for 11 rows. Oh, look at that, 11 rows. Color 2. Which one is color 2? Color 2 is the darker green that I have. So I'm going to have to cake that up and go on. So color 2 for 11 rows. Today is October the 23rd. Okay, so we got color 3 for 2 rows, and then color 2 for 11 rows. So that'll keep us kind of busy for the next week. So I'm gonna put this here, this here. I'll get out the other color. That, I'll be going back to that. And this. Hopefully next week we'll get color 6 to get that in there. So that's what I'm going to be doing this next week. And we'll put that aside for now. So I hope you're enjoying it. Some people have told me that they are, and that's good to hear. Well, better put this with it. And tomorrow I'll get busy at that. I'm also working on some diamond painting projects. I finished a very big one on the weekend, and I've started on another one that's also quite a big project. I got several for Christmas that I have to get done. Right, so moving right along, the next thing that we want to look at is our October Halloween minis, and this is where we are so far. Actually, quite pretty, quite a pretty collection. So I'll just put it out here where I can get at it. And I'll open up my pins. And I'm going to pull out this. This has 2, 4, 6, 7 in it. And this is the wrapper that the whole bouquet came in. And it's called the Spellbound Bouquet. And it is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. These are all 10-gram minis, which means there's something like maybe 44 yards. So I'm going to take them all out of there and lay them down up here. They fall all over the place. And this one is stuck. So that'll leave next week. We'll have to actually open 8 of them to finish them up. So here we are, first color, and at the end I'll rearrange them. Oh, another sparkle. I don't know, Bonnie, we've already got, I think, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 7. This makes 8 sparkles, and this is a neutral. It's a brown, it's a browny gray color. It's coming across brown on the screen, but it has a bit of a gray tone to it. All right. Oh, I'll get things falling back here. Next. Oh, this is a color I really like too. It's a navy. It's definitely a tonal, but it's a really nice color. Will go real well with some of those colors already that we've already opened. Is this fun? Oh, I can't believe how much purple we've gotten in this though. This one is mostly purple and gray. Thought we had another one that was purple and gray. Maybe it was mostly purple. But it has just a bit of, see, there's a bit of teal there. There's another speck of teal, but it's mostly purple and gray. So that'll pull them together. It's a pinky purple. Oh, now this is interesting. And I know people like purple and green together. Actually, it's not really purple. It's a navy. I think I would say that's sort of navy, but it's got a purplish tinge with greens and a bit of rosy color. Again, grays and greens. And again, is that a deep purple or... Well, it's hard to tell if this is blue or purple or what color it really is. But very Halloweenish, very, very Halloweenish with this red, pinky red in there. So that's interesting. These all are going to go together very well in something, if I could ever figure out what that something will be. Now, I still got 3 more to go here. Oh, I like this one. This one is a speckled one. Blues and purples with gray in it as well. See the purple and the blues. And then we got some gray in there as well. Very pretty. Yes, and it will go nicely with some of those other speckles. I'm wondering if I should be separating this into several projects, but it only has 10 grams in each one, so they don't go as far as the full advents usually go. Okay, oh, I must have known this was all being made for me because look at all of the purple. My goodness, this is purple with hints of gray, I would say. Yeah, grays, mostly sort of a charcoaly color. Purple. I guess Halloween is all about purple. You know, this is very heavy. In fact, even down here, I'm feeling warm. Whew. So there is the next one. I like it. I'm going to have to make something very moody, as they say. And one last one to open. It's amazing how quick you can go through them. 7 of them. Oh, I like this one too. I haven't found a bad one yet in the whole lot. Now this one is, I'm going to say it has brown tones to it. Brown and gray with some hints of, there's teal and that rosy color, but it has hints of purple in there too. But it's a browny gray with some speckles. Nice. Imagine how this would all look together if I just made a big scarf. 310 grams. So the equivalent of 3 skeins of yarn if I put them all together. Wonder if I could find something that uses that much. A pattern that uses 300 grams. So here we are. Here is what we opened today from the brown on down. That is today's right there. A lot of grays and purples and some blue. And then we added into everything up to here. So what do you think of this collection? Now there's a few light ones. There's another couple of light ones here. But lots of purple, blues, and dark. So that's from Polka Dot Creek. That's our Halloween bouquet up to this point. Our Spellbound bouquet up to this point. And we have 8 more to go yet to finish it. And I just had a little fella. Did you hear him? Yes, here he is. Come here. I'm going to say hello up here. Hello. Yeah, he's getting very, very skinny. Okay, what do you want? Do you want down? Yeah, you probably want down. Okay, that covers all the business for this week. Again, the weeks are a bit shorter, but I do have a little bit of yarn to show you because now that things are moving a bit, I got my order from EFA that I thought was going to get caught in the mail and sit for quite a while. But I believe this is the order, I think I told you last week, that they sent by UPS, and cost me $60 to get it cleared. 60 Canadian. Yeah. So here is what I ordered. This is the order where I ordered 3, and then you would get, for every $30 you spent, and most of these cost 30 a piece anyway, you would get a free skein of yarn. So it's almost like buy one, get one free. So I'll show you quickly the ones I bought. There's nothing special about them. And then I'll show you the ones we got free, which were made special for this giveaway. And if you are on EFA's mailing list, you would have received an email this week telling you about these yarns that they had extra of, and you could still purchase them. So here's one I bought. For sure I wanted another one of these. This is Alpaca Silk DK, and it's called Atlas. It's a really, really nice blue, and Alpaca Silk DK feels heavenly. Really, really nice, and I like a good blue. Then I ordered one that I thought was a mixture of pinks and browns. When I got it, I'm sorry to say I don't see the brown. There's a hint of it, but not much. And it's an Alpaca Silk DK also. It's a lovely yarn. I will definitely use it. Called Blooming Lavender, but it's not quite the color I expected. And Alpaca Silk DK, by the way, is 50% baby alpaca and 50% mulberry silk. So those two, Alpaca Silk DK. And then finally, I got some Buttery Sport. It's not one of the ones I normally buy, but this was Black Cat. It's sport weight, and I was happy to have a black, although it looks dark blue, doesn't it? A dark blue that's almost black, and it looks kind of mixed black and blue. But I like to have a good navy or a good black. So that's the 3 I ordered. And the 3 I received. That's interesting. The first one is called Thorn Blood, and it's cremesock. I think they must, I don't know why I have this feeling they looked at my order history to pick, because I got all weights that I use and colors that would be for me too. Now this is a mix of red and black. See the black in there? And I actually kind of like it. Now, they didn't show this in the email when they show you the ones that they have. They showed this in Resilient Sock. And I'm looking at it thinking, I'm sure I didn't get Resilient Sock, because I do not care for Resilient Sock at all. But I do like cremesock, and I'm quite happy with that particular one. The other, the second free one, these 3 are free, is Harmony Yak Fingering. Again, yak, but yak with merino in it. Now this is a color I'm having a hard time describing or figuring out what color it really is. Harmony Yak Fingering is 65% superwash merino, 20 mulberry silk, and 15% yak. See the colors? This is very what I would call dark and moody. The color is grave moss. But you know, it's growing on me. This end is a little prettier than the other end. Dark greens, a little bit of a tealy green in there with a burgundy, I guess, running through it. Yeah, it's very unusual color. And finally, they couldn't have sent me a better gift. Can you imagine? Isn't that beautiful? That is, it's called Nocturne Orchid. It's called prismatic fingering. Now, I have not really ever bought their prismatic fingering because it was 3 yarns blended together and had a marled look. And when you look at some of them, they have a very strong marled look. This one doesn't look as marled. Somebody said it looks sparkle. That's not sparkle. That's the third yarn fiber in it, which is silk. And the silk shines. So it has merino and superwash merino and silk in it, a third of each. And the shiny part is silk. And the color, you can all agree, the color is me. Now, when you look at the picture on the website, it looks like it has white in it. I don't see any white in it, but I definitely want to get more of this. It is 450 yards. That's more than usual. So if I had 2 skeins, that's 900. If I had 3 skeins, that would be 1350. That would make quite a sizable shawl or wrap. Makes me wonder if I want a third skein or is 2 enough. I love it. And it feels very nice. Has silk in it, so it would. But this was worth making the order just to get this. Isn't it beautiful? I love it. I love it. So, that's pretty much all the yarn I want to show you today. I do still have a little more yarn down here. I want to do another look at fiber and properties of fiber. Not next week. Next week we have our slideshow, but possibly the week after that, we'll look at fibers. What does this have? Oh, I don't think we've talked about cashmere, and this one has cashmere, so we'll maybe talk about the properties of cashmere in 2 weeks. And I also have another book, pattern book leaflet that I want to go and do a review for you, and that'll be next month as well. So, and I've also discovered a couple of new designers that really appealed to me, and I'm getting ready to make a pattern from each of them. So hopefully I can do an actual designer review someday again soon in the near future. But that is all that I have to show you this week. Next week we'll finish up our Halloween minis and we'll progress on a little farther with our dice game and take it from there, see how it goes. So I'm curious to hear how you're doing with the dice game. And like I said, I'd like to know what your favorite EFA base is and if you have a wish list of a EFA base you would really, really like to try and haven't had the opportunity. So until I see you again next week, happy hooking.